Six p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The foreign minister says possibilities of improvement in relations between Pakistan and India have increased after the development on the Kartarpur corridor. The information minister says judicial, civil and military leaderships are on the same page to deal with the issue of water shortage. The president has lauded the sacrifices of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and tribal districts in the war against terror. Pakistan and Russian navies carried out naval exercises in the North Arabian Sea to promote the joint operation capacity. In France, violent protests against the rising fuel prices continued in Paris today ahead of the third weekend of demonstrations. In the Men's Hockey World Cup tournament, Pakistan will play the first match against Germany in Bhubaneswar in India this evening. And now the news in detail. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan wants peace on its eastern and western borders for prosperity in the region. Talking to newsmen in Multan today, he said peace and stability in the region will lead to improvement in job opportunities and the overall economic condition. The minister said groundbreaking of Kartarpur corridor is a good beginning and it should be taken positively. He said possibilities of improvement in relations between Pakistan and India have increased after the development on the Kartarpur corridor. He said Pakistan government has materialized the desire of the Sikh community for opening Kartarpur corridor so that they could easily visit their holy places. To a question, Shah Mahmood Qureshi said value of the rupee had been artificially controlled, which led to its depreciation against the American dollar. He said an expected increase in foreign exchange reserves due to boost in exports will decrease the pressure on the rupee. Pakistan has rejected the negative propaganda campaign in the Indian media against Kartarpur Corridor initiative. In a statement issued today, the Foreign Office spokesperson Dr. Mohammad Faisal said, "We are deeply dismayed at the relentless negative propaganda campaign being waged by a section of the Indian media against Pakistan on the Kartarpur Corridor initiative." He categorically reaffirmed that the initiative to open the corridor has been taken by the government of Pakistan solely in deference to the long-standing wishes of our Sikh brethren, and especially in the wake of the forthcoming 550th birth anniversary celebrations of Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He said attributing any other motives is purely malicious. The Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry says the judicial, civil and military leaderships are on the same page to deal with the issue of water shortage. He was speaking at the conclusion of a charity match for dams fund between the Parliamentarians 11 and the PCB 11 in Islamabad today. He said the match was conducted with an aim to raise awareness amongst the people about water conservation and environmental protection. Speaking on the occasion, the Minister of State for Interior, Shahryar Khan Afridi, said the match gave the message that the entire nation is united collectively to address all the problems. The match was won by the Parliamentarians 11. The government has registered cases against key leaders of Tehreek-e-Labbaik on charges of sedition and terrorism for causing damage worth millions of rupees to public and private property and people in the protest. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad this afternoon, the Information Minister Chaudhry Fawad Hussain said case has been registered against Tehreek-e-Labbaik leader Khadim Hussain Rizvi on charges of sedition and terrorism at a police station in Lahore. He said protest is a legal and constitutional right of all the citizens, but state will not allow its right to be challenged. The Punjab Chief Minister Sardar Usman Busdar called on the Prime Minister Imran Khan in Lahore today and discussed matters pertaining to the province. The Minister for Power, Umar Ayub Khan, says the government is making all-out efforts to control line losses and pilferage of electricity. Addressing a news conference in Peshawar this afternoon, he said losses have been reduced and 2 billion rupees have been saved during the last 2 months. The Prime Minister Imran Khan has congratulated the Power Minister and his ministry for effective steps to reduce line losses and improve recovery of outstanding dues. In a tweet, he said one of the reasons for expensive electricity and load shedding is power theft. Prime Minister Imran Khan has defended the proposal to raise poultry as a solution to poverty in the rural areas. In a tweet, he said when locals talk about chickens combating poverty, they get mocked. But when foreigners talk about desi chicken and poverty, they are called brilliant. The Prime Minister, along with his tweet, also attached the news about Bill Gates, a renowned business magnate, philanthropist, and founder of the Microsoft Corporation, who in June 2016, while standing on one of the floors of the New York skyscraper, announced how chickens could be used to tackle poverty. This is Radio Pakistan. Security forces have killed a wanted terrorist Hakim in an intelligence-based operation as part of Operation Radul Fasad in Mochiwal area of Daraban in Deir Ismail Khan. According to ISPR, the killed terrorist Hakim had made 6 civilians hostage for ulterior motives. He was armed with automatic weapons and grenades. All the hostages have been rescued by the security forces. 4 security forces personnel received injuries during the operation. Pakistan and Russia have held naval drills, namely the Arabian Monsoon in the North Arabian Sea. According to a statement issued by the Pakistan Navy spokesperson, 2 ships of the Russian Navy visited Karachi port and took part in the exercises. The ships of the Pakistan Navy and Russian Navy carried out war operations during the exercises. The objective of the drills was to promote capacity of joint operations between the 2 navies. At the United Nations, Pakistan has called upon the international community to take urgent action to end sufferings of the Palestinian people. Speaking during a debate on the Middle East situation in the United Nations General Assembly, Pakistan's permanent representative to the world body, Dr. Maliha Lodhi, stressed the need to ensure that Israel abides by all the UN resolutions and international laws so as to pave the way for an independent Palestinian state. Dr. Maliha Lodhi said it is time to bring an end to the tragedy and reinvigorate hopes of peace and mutual coexistence in the entire region. In France, violent protests against the rising fuel prices are continuing in Paris, where the police and protesters clashed today ahead of a 3rd weekend of demonstrations. The police fired tear gas, stun grenades, and water cannon on protesters trying to breach security cordons on the Champs-Élysées. 3 policemen and 7 protesters have been injured, whereas 60 others have been arrested. China says it supports Saudi Arabia in its strive for economic diversification and social reforms. Talking to the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Buenos Aires on the sidelines of the G20 summit, the Chinese President Xi Jinping said China has always attached great importance to its relations with Saudi Arabia. The Iranian Navy launched a domestically made radar-evading destroyer today. In a ceremony, the Sahand destroyer, which can sustain voyages lasting 5 months without resupply, joined Iran's regular navy at a base in Bandar Abbas in the Gulf. The United States, Canada, and Mexico have signed a North American Trade Pact. The leaders of the 3 countries agreed on a deal in principle to replace the North American Free Trade Agreement, which governs more than $1.2 trillion of mutual trade. And now news about sports. In the Men's Hockey World Cup at Bhubaneswar in India, the match between the Netherlands and Malaysia is underway. In another match of the day, Pakistan will take on Germany at 6:30 p.m. today. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. To end the news, here once again are some of the headlines. The foreign minister says possibilities of improvement in relations between Pakistan and India have increased after the development on Kartarpur corridor. The information minister says judicial, civil, and military leaderships are on the same page to deal with the issue of water shortage. The president has lauded the sacrifices of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and tribal districts in the war against terror. Pakistan and Russian navies carried out naval exercises in the North Arabian Sea to promote their joint operation capacity. These were some of the headlines, and that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.